Hi. Hello. Testing, testing. It is I, Lance. This is weird. This is not how I usually begin my streams. Typically I do the thing where I like, you know, switch scenes only when only when the song is finished. But now we're chilling here with my BGM, I guess. Hi Daniil, hi Squeegee. How is everybody doing in this wonderful Friday evening, or whatever the heck it is for in your time zone? As I predicted, it got cold again. A few days ago, I was legit like thinking of turning on the frigging air conditioning because of how hot it was. And today, it's actually gotten cold again. Like legit, it's just straight up cold. It's very cold. Well, not very cold. We've had colder days, but it is pretty cold today. So I have my coffee with me. What's the problem with the BGM? No, there's absolutely no problem. It's just unusual, if you will. Cause you know how I like every time I switch scenes on OBS when I start stream, I don't have the BGM playing anymore, because at that point I'm already getting ready to switch to the video game we're about to play. However, we're not gonna play a video game today. We're gonna be going through memory lane, if you will. And I am not very much looking forward to it. Actually, you know what? I am, because it's been a while since I've listened to this. Okay, here's the thing. I know everything I've made. It wouldn't make a lot of sense if I didn't know the stuff I made in the past. But I have made it, and so I do remember. And it's precisely because I remember is that I am a little weary. I thought it was a cool thing. Hello, Squeegee. How are we doing? I thought it was a good idea to contrast like the stuff that we're listening to right now in the background. I thought it was a fun thing to contrast this, which is literally my last piece of music that I've made like recently. This is the last piece of music that I've released, versus the stuff we're about to fucking hear. Oh no. This actually checked. All of the stuff that we're about to hear, Beerback, don't worry about it, do your thing. All of the stuff that we're about to hear right now was made within 2011. Like everything that you're about to hear was made in 2011. So I was, how old? I was 14 when I released these tracks. I was 14 when I released these tracks that we're about to hear. But I had been making music, quote unquote, since earlier, because I had somehow gotten a copy of FL Studio. Let's not talk about how I got that. And I started messing around with stuff. And I distinctly remember at least making one full track that I actually remembered like putting it all together. Not properly, because at that point I didn't even know how to use the I didn't know how to use the pattern things. I actually didn't know how to use patterns. And so most of the music, no, I didn't know how to use patterns. I just didn't know how to like put them together. I think I don't remember. It was very crude. It was made with FL Studio 7, I think, and it sounded like shit. I remember being proud of it, quote unquote. I guess. Young Lang's music, yeah, that's what we're about to hear. At that point, I don't think I was known as Lance White. So hey, yeah, no, actually, no, I wasn't. You'll see who I was known as on the internet. It'll be soon. Don't worry. We'll be here. We'll just be cringing. But yeah, what was I saying? How? Yes, it was like probably around 2007. Or 2008, maybe. No, it had to have been 2007, because I distinctly remember getting FL Studio 6, actually. Or maybe 7, I don't know. Everything is fuzzy. The thing is, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, if I know very little about music theory now, I knew nothing back then. Literally nothing. So I had no clue about how to make music. Also, hi, MZ. Am I saying that correctly? Yes, Lance, that is me. Welcome to the stream. We're about to embark on some journey. I feel like I feel like I have to explain some things before we begin, though. I mean, clearly I've explained already that what we're about to hear isn't stuff that I made knowing music. The column broke? What the heck does that mean? What, you mean the column? Do you mean to say the punctuation thingy? Hopefully you mean that, and you don't mean the actual colon, the organ of the body, like a custom chat. What is it? Oh, I see. That's interesting. Yeah, you do look different in there, huh? Don't think too much about it. It's probably something about it's at the beginning, not at the end. I think it's no, I think you know what it is. I think it's because of the font that I use for my chat. The lowercase I just looks like that. You made 3 videos after long? Congrats. Making videos is hard. I would know. I make one like once a year. But yeah, the stuff that we're about to hear right now, and some of what we're about to hear was some of the first few things I ever put on the internet. There's more stuff from before the things that we're gonna listen to now, but maybe we'll save maybe we'll save them for later. Maybe we'll save them for later, for another stream where we do that. Now we'll just focus on the music, because music is a thing that I really enjoy making, and I've been enjoying making since I was a wee little guy. 2 beat swap and 1 beat removal. Ah, you're doing those kinds of videos, huh? Ah, great. Great. I mean, it would work for me, didn't it? Okay, let's not get too distracted anymore, because I wanna get this done as quickly as possible. No, I'm kidding. Here's the thing, though. I don't know how long this stream will be, because for some reason I thought I made more music than what I actually made. As it turns out, I only made 12 tracks. There's only 12 pieces of music that we're about to hear right now. And they all exist in this wonderful site called Newgrounds. I don't know if y'all know what Newgrounds is. It's the place where Friday Night Funkin' was made. To bring it to, like, you know, the modern setting. But back in the day, Newgrounds was a big deal. Newgrounds existed since before YouTube. And I'm pretty sure I actually used to visit Newgrounds before YouTube existed. So I was on that site for a long time. And it was only until 2011 where I decided to, I guess, make my own account and start, you know, putting stuff up there. Not animations, not video games, not Flash games. No, I wasn't that kind of talented. My thing was music. And those NSFW Flash game, Flash animations, yeah, Lord knows there was a lot of that. I may have seen some things I shouldn't have seen when I was a kid on that site. But I was also there. Making music and putting it up there. For some reason, I thought that was like the best place to put my music, I guess. I don't know why. And I went by the name of Audio Star. This me. I wish I could prove it to you, but I lost access to this account. I think I remember the credentials. I think I remember the password for this account. But when I tried to log in, it told me, we need to send you an email because this is unusual. You haven't logged in for like ages. And then I tried to log into the email account that this account was made with. And I couldn't log into that email. So it has been lost to time. I would have loved to, check this, check the profile and see how it's been made, how it's been doing. When I used to post stuff on Newgrounds did not look like this, by the way. It looked very, very different. Very much so. And as we can see, I only released 12 pieces of audio and have 11 fans. Cool. The image that you see in the thumbnail alongside the Newgrounds logo is this right here, this little profile picture. One piece of lore that I'm gonna have to eventually explain is where did that picture come from and who is this CrashGek person? Can I make some zoom? Yeah, who is this CrashGek person? Because this person is very important to the land's lore in the Newground days. 25? No, I'm 26. This age is correct. This is interesting. I thought for sure that I had made an account where I pretended to be older than I am. But I guess at some point I changed it and adjusted it to my real age. Huh. That's interesting. This is Audio Star lore. I am from Argentina. None of those things are incorrect. None of those things are incorrect, and technically speaking, they're not things that I ever hid. Okay. So, let's see. Let's see all of my audio. As I said, there's only 12 pieces of music that I made here. 2011 BPN? Oh God, no. There's 12 pieces of music that I made all throughout 2011, which surprised me because I legit thought I had made music for like 2 years on Newgrounds, but I guess not. And it was just that 2011 was a very long year, presumably. And it began with this one, which apparently is a song that I made back in 2008, which might be true. It might be true. It might have only been released in 2011, but I'm pretty sure I made it from before. Had delay suck so bad. Well, that's the thing with YouTube. I gotta. There's gotta be a little delay. I mean, there's not that there's gotta be. There is going to be a little bit of a delay between what you send and what you see on stream. That's how it works. The latency is, it's impossible to avoid. But I can see your comments anyway. Don't worry, it's not that crazy. It's not that big of a lag. Ugh. Okay, so apparently some of these have actually 5 stars. Apparently the first song I ever made that I ever published, I guess, got 1,000 views and it's got a rating of 5 stars, which is interesting, or 4.83. That's probably because not a lot of people, voted on it. I don't exactly know how Newgrounds handles ratings anymore. Some of them don't have any stars because I don't think they've been approved or something like that. Some of them have been though. So let's see. Let's listen to Terror Mansion, and I can tell you the story of how this track came to be because again, I don't know music theory, but at some point I figured out what sounded good and what didn't sound good. And after pressing random keys, which I actually think there were the E key, the R key, the 3 key, and the 5 key in my keyboard, I think those are the correct notes. I realized, oh shit, that actually kind of sounds like a spooky haunted house kind of thing. And so that's the song that we're about to hear right now. So let's see. What's the description for it? What the fuck? Can I not? Remember the chat calling that I was talking about? What is it? Does it look better now here? What the fuck? Hold on. Can I not listen to stuff? Oh, I can listen to stuff. Okay, never mind. I have a newer Newgrounds account that I made with this name actually, with the name Whitelands, and I decided to start posting some stuff there, but some things there, but I eventually just abandoned that. I just realized that the top bar tabs have to reopen my channel. The YouTube text is reversed. Well, that's bizarre. Wouldn't know why that happens. Might be a glitch. So what did I have to say about this? Remember, this is 2011 me. I wasn't, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're not getting too distracted anyways. And it's good because we get to not listen to the shit that we're about to listen to. Okay, let's see. Can I zoom in? Let's do a little bit of a zoom in. Yeah, let's do this. It says here, 3 years ago, ... When I got FL Studio, I was really excited I would make my own music, but they all sucked. One day, I was messing around with the bell sound, and I was surprised of what I just did. So I kept going, just because it reminded me of the ghost house of Super Mario World. Finally, it came out something like this, and I thought, this is great. Although I don't know if it's that good. I just like if it is that good. I just like it a lot. This is me. Remember, 2011. I didn't have the most perfect grasp of the English language. I still don't, but I can write with the, more correct grammar at least. Use the left override symbol. Okay, there you go. And then we have this crash gag person here. We'll get to it. But first off, I feel like we gotta listen to the song in and of itself, which apparently got 53 downloads. So 53 people somewhere in the world decided that this song was good enough to download, and 1,000 people decided to listen to it. I guess 1,300. So without any further ado, without any further yapping, this is the song. Oh my god. Okay, so here's the thing. This does not sound bad, per se. In fact, I actually kind of like that melody. I'm gonna shut up. Halloween beat? Exactly. Well, what do you think I called it? Terror Mansion. This won't change much. You will start to realize something as we go along. And then listen, here's the drop. Something. That. Okay. Okay, let me I'm pretty sure that snare is the default FL Studio snare from way back in the day. Pretty sure that's what happens. That's what happened here. Pretty sure that's what happened here. The kick or the 808 bass kick, I have no idea. I didn't know what bass was at that point in my life. I legit didn't. I realized that songs needed to have bass lines a couple songs later. We'll hear that in a second. And so I just use a lot of default instruments. The bell, I have no clue where it's from. It must be from some like default preset in some VST instrument that comes with FL Studio. Don't I? No clue which one it is. Let's keep listening. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna actually put my headphones for this because I need to hear the songs properly. There we go. Now I can actually hear, because the mixing on these things is non-existent. I distinctly remember this track actually even clipping at some point. There it is. You can hear the clipping. Everything was too loud. I didn't know how to mix or what even mixing was. That's the whole beat. Meanwhile, the bell thing just never changes at all. It's 2 minutes and 30 seconds of this. Oh no. I guess this is my idea of a second section, right? By this point, the number of keys that I pressed stopped making any sense, I guess. Because I don't think this is in any like specific key. Thycat exasperation V7. I don't know what you mean by that. I actually, you completely lost me. You have completely lost me with that one, man. Okay, it was fine up until this point, but the second section, oh my god. This version was a geometry test level that was in here. Ah, okay. Does the music sound something like this? Worse? Oh my god. Well, I guess that's a compliment to this track, isn't it? We go back to the previous melody. But There's a lot of dissonance between the wham sound, which first of all, it's the ugliest fuck sound. It is a loud sound. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And the notes that it plays also don't make a lot of sense. Unnerving music. Is this unnerving? This is unnerving to me. It is weird. Remember, 2008. I was 11. I was 11 when I made this. And then it just ends. Never mind. I don't want to clap after that. That song sucks. Here's the thing. I don't hate this part at the beginning. Outside of the fact that it's, clipping and all of that. I feel like there's the bones of a good track in here, but like very, very bare bones. 53 people thought it was good enough to download, which I'm like, wow. Thank you, I guess. I guess now it's a good moment to bring up this Crash Gek person. Okay, so Crash Gek is this kid who was pretty much around my age, I think. And he used to do stuff on Newgrounds as well. Sadly, the stuff that he made doesn't exist anymore because at some point, I guess he deleted it. He doesn't have anything in here. He's apparently 1 year older than me, actually, if this is to be believed. So yeah, none of this is I mean, this is just the stuff that he did. So presumably he abandoned the site. Do I still know him? No. I would like to know where he's at. I would love to, like, I don't know, catch up, reminisce about the good old days. He used to make Flash animations. He was a kid that used to make Flash animations with a couple of other friends that he had. And he at some point found my music and I was like, yo, I like your music. Do you want to make music for my animations? And I was like, fuck yeah. And so he left a lot of reviews on my stuff. At some point, eventually, most of the music that I made, like, past a few things, past the first few tracks I uploaded, were for his Flash animations. So when you see this Cool Butts theme, well, that was made for a character in one of his animations. And Cool Butt was one of his friends, I think, if I recall correctly. There's a whole bit of drama later that we'll get to, which I find interesting. But regardless, I guess this is a later review that he published because I published this song on June 19th, 2011, and he published this review on July 24th. Because he answers, at some point I asked how to make 8-bit music. Yeah. And I guess he had some idea, which is to download some sound effects from old arcade or NES games and then use those instead of normal instruments. Which, sure, in some fashion that works. But you're better off using actual VST instruments. But I didn't know what that was at the time. And I said, really? That's all? I will search that. I thought I needed plugins and all that stuff. Yeah, Lance. Yes, baby Lance. You needed plugins. So you could still work with, like, sound effects that you download. What else did he say? It's good, though it doesn't exactly feel like a Haunted Mansion song. It certainly would fit in a creepy situation. 2 little complaints. The ding sound feels a bit too loud, and the sounds that begin somewhere around 135 sound a bit out of tune. He was completely right, by the way. He was right on the money with it. The ding sound is a bit too loud to the point where eventually some stuff just ends up clipping. And around 135, what's at 135? Yeah, he's talking about the rest of the sounds. And yes, there's 2 melodies running right now, and they both have different scales. They're both in different keys. And it only gets worse over here. Because I didn't know better at that point. I didn't know that songs are supposed to follow a scale, and certain notes work well together with other notes, and terrible with other notes. I didn't know what dissonance was. So yeah, I'm not surprised by the quality of my first ever track. Because it sucks. And I guess it makes sense for the kind of stuff that I did know at the time. But yeah, no, this sucks. However, fret not. Okay, do fret. But do fret. Apparently this is my second try to a video game song. Again, poor grandma. poor grandma. Apparently I thought see, at this point I started making tracks for other people, for this Crash Gag person. Up till this point, I was making music myself. Let's listen to Technologic Spark and listen. At this point, I did at this point. Hey, there's Cool Bud. There's this Cool Bud person that was friends with Crash Gag. Okay. Here's the thing. I said here, I did this one with FL Studio 10. At that point, I had upgraded. I know it may be bad. It is. I can tell you for sure that this is bad. But hey, I'm still a frickin' noob, and frickin' is spelled with 2 Ks, and noob is in lead speak. Sorry about that. I had a little outburst, and I apologized immediately after on text. Okay. FL Studio, if you don't know, has this thing called the riff machine, which if you know how to use, will essentially generate like a few bars of melody or chords that you could just put anywhere you want randomly. You can adjust parameters to make sure that they make sense. But I didn't know anything about it. I just randomly found a set of, picture me. Picture fucking 11-year-old me. No, I was 14 at this point. Picture 14-year-old me accidentally pressing buttons and finding a thing that essentially makes a song for you. I was like, holy shit. Okay. This works for me. And so this is what this song is. It's a song made entirely, and I mean seriously, almost entirely. Like a cat? No, I don't know. What? What do you mean like a cat? What kind of comparison is that? Okay, so this is a song made entirely randomly. This is like AI music before AI music was a thing. Because AI music, when it started popping up, it would make like it would make weird things that didn't even make any musical sense. Well, a lot of this doesn't make musical sense. You said pressing? Why would you press a cat? Don't press the cats. Cats are to be pet, not press them. Or squished. You can squish the cat. You can squish the cat, but not too hard. Okay, let's listen to Technologic Spark, or Technologic Spark. No idea where that name came from. I guess this song does sound somewhat technologic. Technological? Is that your word? I don't know. Listen to it. See that bit right there? This main melody? This is sick. You can actually make something cool with this. But I didn't know what the fuck to do. So I just kept making stuff. I'm gonna preview this whole song before we keep listening to it. I keep saying press. I kept using the riff machine on different instruments randomly without adjusting the parameters until I found something that sounded nice. And so this song eventually stops making sense. I assure you it stops making sense. But apparently these kids loved it. He said, Coolbud said that this is much better than that Mario rip-off junk of others. Happy face, tongue out face. By the way, why do I still have 1,000 characters remaining? Who want to type a message that long? Raffle. And apparently Crash Gag thought this was the best thing I ever made. Perfectly fit for a credit song or something. If I recall correctly, he actually did use it for the credits of one of his animations. Here we go. It's actually like this because it made almost all the song using the riff machine. Don't ask me what it is because I don't know. I could tell you it makes the song for you or something like that. Those MIDI loops that come with the software. Something like that. It's based around MIDI loops. Randomizes a bunch of stuff within specific parameters. Whatever. So this is the result. Oh boy. This bit right here sounds cool. Those are the default drums of FL Studio 10 for sure. Now those two little melodies right there, that separately, they're kind of cool. They were both made with the riff machine. I don't know if they are in the same key, but they kind of fit together. They don't necessarily sound... They don't necessarily sound... what is it? They don't necessarily sound off together. So I guess the parameters must have, you know, magically coincided, which is what I thought. 2006 Roblox OST. Oh my god. It does fit, doesn't it, huh? The drums I made myself. The drums I did make myself. I programmed myself. But it's not crazy. It's just a boom, jish, boom, jish. It's gonna get worse though. Now, I don't know if you could hear, but a third instrument has hit the song. And it's like a... You're currently watching 2 streams? Well, it's gonna sound very confusing, probably. See, there's another instrument that has popped up, and this is when it starts this is when it stops to make sense. I'm gonna lower the volume for me because, oh my god, this is so... we removed one of the instruments now. Right, we removed it. Don't make me watch 4. I mean, I'm not telling you to do anything. You're free to do whatever you want. Oh, section 2. At this point, I feel like I realized that music needs bass. Music needs low notes to, like, you know, ground the whole thing. And so I guess I grabbed an instrument that was like a bassy sound, and I also put it through the riff machine. Oh god, those beeps, that random square wave, again, does not fit. None of these melodies, quote unquote, make any sense. I brought back the one from the beginning. Does not fit to this section at all. Oh my god. There's a new instrument somewhere in there. Again, I didn't know what mixing was, so everything is just the default volume. I didn't toy around with any of the volumes, so everything is just mushed together. I apparently put the... I don't know. Okay, hold on. Did I actually do this? Was this intentional? Did I actually know how to pan something to the left? Because it's panned to the left. There's something that's panned to the left right now, which is the very first melody I made. I don't know if I knew that. Oh my god, this is trash. I distinctly remember how the project ended up looking like, because you could put patterns on the not the piano roll, but on like the song organizer or whatever the fuck that section is called. I keep forgetting. And at some point I just had like 8 patterns all on top of each other, just playing, and none of the patterns work well with each other. Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing, but for some reason in my head, it sounded well. It sounded good. My 14-year-old brain thought this was good music. Watching 4 streams at once? Well, congratulations. I don't know if any of the streams that I don't know if anything that you're listening to right now makes any sense, but okay, you do you. Right, at this point I'm winding it down. I'm removing things. You can't chat on your Twitch stream? Well, there's some limitations to it. You need to have an account and it needs to be like verified. Yes, exactly. Because otherwise, I get bots in my chat. And we don't want that. We're winding down. We've removed almost every instrument, and now Why is it that parts of this melody are panned? Oh, it's probably because of the riff machine, right? The riff machine decided that some of the notes of this like pattern right here had to be panned to the left. And that was it. That was it. This sucks. Listen, I know that I was 14 again. Didn't know any better. But what the fuck? Why did I think this was a good song? Why did I think this sounded correctly? Clearly my ear wasn't developed at that point, but it's insane to me that I thought that this was good. But don't worry. At this point, we've hit the worst. At this point, we've hit the worst that it's gonna get. Actually, not quite. There's a couple of other songs that are not great. But at this point, we come to, technically speaking, and I only discovered this a few years back, my most popular song on Newgrounds. Because at some point, someone found it and used it in their video game. Well, not video game, in their Flash game. It's called Green Grassland. And I also called it Stage 1. I called it Stage 1 because one of my life goals is to make a video game, and I guess I thought of the idea of, you know, making the stage music for each stage. And it's an idea that I toyed around even with stuff that is released on my actual YouTube channel. My most proud stuff, like the newer stuff that I've made. Because on my first chiptune album, if you will, I named some of the tracks after stages. Because that's like the whole theme of that album, I guess. So I always had that idea. But this is Stage 1. At this point, I still don't know what bass is. But I know how to write melodies now. This is all in C major because I figured that hitting the white notes, I guess I didn't know they were white notes at the time. I just figured that hitting the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. Don't make me watch 8. I'm not making you do anything, buddy. What do you mean, FFU? I'm listening to Green Grassland, which apparently has how many? It has 18 faves, 2,400 listens, 64 downloads, and 20 votes, which means that it qualifies to get an actual proper score. And it is heard on this game called Pound the Puss. And there's a bunch of things. Here's the thing. This game came out when I wasn't using Newgrounds anymore. This game came out in 2016. So I was already somewhat on YouTube at that point, actually, I think. And if can I play the game? Can we play the game that actually has my music and listen to my music there? No, okay, it doesn't make any sense. Let's listen to the song first. Luis Jimenez thought it was, wow. Denise Emanuel said, it is the game. It's the game. What? Matthew Tweedy thinks it's easy to play, and it is easy to play. It's C major, and that's it. Also easy to play here, Francis Walsh. It's awesome. Thank you, AJ Industries. And Crash Gek. You got talent, bro. Oh, thank you, Crash Gek. I do hear a flute somewhere that sounds a bit out of tune. Huh. This is supposed to be a game song. Why not make it 8-bit? See, he wrote this one first, and then I told him I don't know how to make 8-bit music. I joined Newgrounds because I wanted to do 8-bit song, but I don't know how. But nothing works. There's no shot. I hadn't been searching tutorials everywhere because if I was searching tutorials, I would have found stuff. I don't know what the fuck I was on. But anyway, this is my most popular song on Newgrounds, and actually, it's kinda catchy. Not gonna lie, I am somewhat proud of this. We vibin'. Actually, let me change the little face of my little guy. Where's the little guy? Hold on. There we go. See, he's happy with this one because this is the vibe. Again, no bass. There's literally no bass in this. And at this point, I started using FBC for drums. And FBC comes with a bunch of drum packs, like a lot of samples already preloaded. So you just have to like put the preset and then it arranges the drums for you. So I just could play around with that. FBC's good. It's a drum sequencer, that's what it is. Or a drum machine simulator, emulator, or something like that. But yeah, I got a proper grasp of melodies and how they work and what kinds of notes go together. The one thing I was missing at this point is bass. And then there's a chill section. Oh, I didn't read the description. Okay, hold on. I'll read it in a sec. So it's, again, the first section, but with the drums removed. So I thought, oh, cool. Build up. Apparently it's a loop, so it's supposed to loop, actually. How well does it loop? I'm thinking it won't loop very well because FL Studio by default renders stuff out with a little bit of silence at the end. But you could remove it to have perfect loops. I realized that years later. Yeah, it doesn't look very perfect, very well. But you see, this is actually kind of catchy. I like the main melody. It is, again, just C major. I'm pretty sure it's just C, D, E, C, D, E, C, E, D, C, D, E, C, E, D, C, D, and then like one semitone down, and then that same melody, another semitone down, and then it goes up again. I was already doing like musically okay stuff. I just didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Lance, why? I don't know. I figured stuff out. I don't know what you mean. And so yeah, I'm somewhat proud of this track, actually. Again, no bass. But apparently it was good enough for Orange Pylon to use it in Pound the Puss, which was actually front-paged on August 25, 2016. Which is cool. Let's listen to. Apparently, this game is rated M for mature due to its vulgar language, violence, and sexual content. Oh boy, it is not recommended for anyone under the age of 17. Please pound the puss at your own risk. I guess it makes sense with a name like that, doesn't it? Oh, there you go. Look at that. This is Pound the Puss. At them? At what? I think my song is literally the first thing you hear when you play this game. Orange Pylon. Welcome to Pound the Puss. Click anywhere to advance the text boxes. Meet Pound. That's my song! Howdy! Pound is a puss that is quivering with anticipation. Jesus Christ, this is Newgrounds, isn't it? Like, peak Newgrounds. And my song is playing! Isn't it cool? Look at chat, I'm looking. I'm realizing I'm just not always answering because, you know, I'm trying to, you know, stay focused in here in some capacity. I'm gonna tell them why that is, Pound. I'm gonna go on an adventure. Every hero needs an epic quest to conquer, and yours happens today. I just have to find one first. Sometimes even the simplest of tasks can unfold into the greatest. I'm not doing all of that, MC. I'm trying to listen to my music. Or actually, I'm trying to pound the puss right now. See, my music plays in this. Ain't it crazy? How do I move? You never know when you get an old apple. But okay, I guess this is why this track ended up becoming somewhat popular. Not look at all chat. I don't understand what you're trying to make me do, man. I'm just gonna keep listening to my music. It's apparently featured in a list. Can I check what list that is? Listen to Later by King Leois. Well, thank you for that, King Leois. But yeah, this became way later my most popular song just by virtue of being in a game that had been played around 200k times. So that's why Luis Jimenez thought, wow. No other song I made got this reception. And again, this was a 2011 track, somehow this orange pylon guy found this song. I have no idea. I only figured this out like years later when I decided to look back on my Newground stuff. So yeah. Now we go back to the to the stuff that hasn't been heard not a lot, hasn't been heard that many times. With stage 2, which was the follow-up to this one, obviously enough, called Wisdom Forest. And at this point, I actually did realize what bass was. Okay? I distinctly remember. This is probably the best song I made when I was a kid. Because it's got the same kind of structure as the first stage thing. Oh, hold on. Let me... there were some typos in this one because it said the fact the title says stage 1 doesn't mean I'm going to make a game. If I make a game, which I don't think I will, which this is missing an H. This song will play in the very first level of the game, or the first level. I was inspired by a grass field from my neighborhood. Weird, isn't it? Why would that be weird, Lance? Why would that be weird? Huh? Anyway, it came to my mind a boy rolling. You meant to say rolling around with a sword, slashing little enemies in a grass field. Then I made the song. Very, very insightful, young Lance. Very, very insightful. Wisdom Forest apparently came, thought it would be cool if I do a forest level, so I made this. Wisdom Forest. I didn't make a forest level, by the way, Lance. You didn't. You keep saying you're not gonna make a game, so why do you say that it would be cool if I make a forest level? Which apparently was inspired by Forest Maze from Super Mario RPG. It's talking about the it's talking about that one. That's what apparently inspired this track, just because it was a forest. Because apparently I saw Waltz of the Forest by Kerbofer. Oh my god, Chris Niosi. That's Chris Niosi. He's doing stuff nowadays. I'm pretty sure he's doing... I think he's the English voice of Colress in Pokemon, isn't he? He's a voice actor now. Big deal. It inspired me to do a song for a forest theme level, so here it is. Why do I keep reiterating things? I said I appreciate critics' constructive reviews and advices because I'm a noob. I didn't speak in lead speak at this point. And anything that anybody tells me, I accept that. Crash Kick only mentioned this. Apparently he keeps hearing a flute that is out of tone. We'll see about that. I wasn't aware of what tuning was. I wasn't aware of what scales or keys were at this point either. So I don't know how things could be out of tune. And again, I'm not doing any game or level or anything like that. I just make music. Feel free to use it. Well, let's listen to it. I think most of the instruments that I used at this point were from Citrus. I'm pretty sure that's the thing. We vibing. But see, there's actually a bass line. If you pay attention, there's a bass line in the background. Po. Section 2. There we go. We got 2 melodies now. What chord does he say that there's like an out of tone flute? It doesn't say specifically where the flute is out of tone. And listen, now that I actually know how to recognize pitches and whatnot, I can tell you for sure there isn't anything that is explicitly out of tune. This is like the longest melody I made at this point. Oh wait, I remembered where there might be an out of tune flute. I remember it now. Okay, that's not out of tune, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's probably not in the same key, or maybe it is. I'm not sure, but it goes way too high and it doesn't completely match the previous section, and then after that it loops. So that's like the outro thing. And then we go back to the first bit. The drums are so quiet, man. I didn't know how to mix. Again, I'm gonna put my little guy with the. There we go. That's a better. That looks better. And I did the same thing. I realized at some point that if I played a few keys, if I pressed a bunch of buttons, I played a few notes, and then I grabbed everything and moved it one step down, it still sounded good. I was transposing. That's what transposing it means. Grabbing the melody and moving it up and down or whatever the fuck you want to do it. It'll sound good because the intervals are always the same. So at most what's going to happen is that it's going to be in a different key. But because I was playing around with just white keys, everything is in the C major scale. So of course it works. Okay? Okay. And then it ends. I think the ending is different here. Yeah. That's a dope ending. That's good. That's good. I was getting better. And fun fact, one of the songs that lives in my YouTube channel now, actually, was supposed to be a follow-up to this one. And it's called Crystal Caverns, I think, or something like that. It is in my YouTube channel. I'll look it up. Hold on. I will look it up. It's got to be in my content. It's part of the SoundCloud collection, if I recall correctly. Where are you, Lance White? You might hear my voice. Also, YouTube sucks on Firefox. This is going to take a bit. Okay, it didn't do it. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Let me... okay, here. This is in my YouTube channel. This song you see here called Crystal, that was supposed to be the third stage song that I would release on Newgrounds. I just didn't finish it at the time. And eventually, once I got better at making music, I came back to it. And I made this. But notice how it actually sounds way different. It sounds like I knew what I was doing. Yeah, no, this is right now. If you ask me, this is a dope track. I like it. Like, it's mixed properly. Instruments have some effects. I'm pretty sure the strings in the back are put with like a phaser or something. So clearly I improved. Some of the oldest tracks in here are probably a little bit older than the last stuff I put up on Newgrounds. But at this point I had pretty much moved on from Newgrounds. But I always had this idea in the back of my mind that I wanted to complete, and so I did it. Oh, hey, Joke. Whoa. Hello. Your name got longer. We're listening to my old music now. But this is on my YouTube channel. This is not super interesting because the stuff that is here is because I like it enough that I want to showcase it on my YouTube channel. I don't like this enough that I would put it on my YouTube channel anymore. So sadly, this is never going to be on my YouTube channel. But do know that I made this. So that was supposed to be stage 3. I remember my else username has been weird. I don't know. You'll figure it out. All the live comments reversed as well. Sure. I still don't understand what you mean, but okay. Okay, where were we? Wisdom Forest. Wisdom Forest is nice. What did I make afterwards? Cool Butts theme. Okay, so at this point I became Crashgex composer, quote unquote. At this point, he would send me DMs. We would talk over DMs on Newgrounds, and he would request a specific song for me to make, and I would make it. That's pretty much it. He would send me, I want a song for this specific thing, and then I would make it. So all of the music that you're going to hear from this point on, pretty much all of the music, not all of it, but most of it, was made because CrashGek requested it. The idea was that he would use these tracks on his Flash animations, and he used some of them. I think he used at least one of them. I wish I could show you the Flash animations because they were a product of its time. They weren't great because you could tell that they were made by another kid, by a kid. So, yeah, but it would be interesting to see. I distinctly remember some of them actually. I'm pretty sure that the stuff that he would make had some relation, had some kind of relation to Roblox actually. Yes, because actually, Roblox. Yes, he had like a series called Roblox. So it was a series of animations for Roblox, fucking Flash animations that he would make. Because apparently he played Roblox. Because of course he played Roblox. I mean, come on. So there you go. That's the closest thing I ever made in relation to Roblox. Music for a Flash series, Flash animation series. Oh god. So Coolbutt's theme is interesting because Coolbutt's theme, it's a mixture of two things. I made some of them. I think I made the main melody. I think I only made the main melodies of this track with the riff machine, and then everything else I made myself. So I actually used the riff machine correctly this time. And I figured how to actually make bass that fits a melody with this song, as you will hear, because I knew how the melody looked. So I was like, okay, so if the bass note of the first note of the melody is here, then I can put that in a bass instrument and it'll complement it, and they will complement each other, right? And that was correct. And this is how it sounds. It's a rock song. Hell yeah, it's rock. I feel like the world is moving and not you moving. No one feels the movement of the world. It just moves. The earth just spins. Let's not get philosophical over here, okay? We're listening to very cringy stuff, and I don't know. I don't want to get more psychic damage. Okay, this is where it starts to go fucking crazy. Like, the first section is pretty cool. Oh, another thing I remembered actually. The drums. I didn't make the drums, actually. Technically speaking, I didn't make the drums. FBC also comes with a bunch of pre-made drum loops. And I noticed that the pre-made drum loops were labeled like loop 1, loop 2, loop 3, loop 4. So I was like, okay, hold on. That means that they're different bars of the same loop. So if I put the 4 of them together, it's going to sound like a full fucking drum section. Again, I was correct. And so there's like a whole... That was one drum loop. That was another drum loop. That was another drum loop. And that was the other drum loop. So I put those 4 drum loop presets together to create one whole drum section. I wasn't super sure how to write drums yet. The drums I did write were not very inventive. But those drum loops were better, so I kept them. Why does the main melody sound like the Geometry Dash main menu music? Huh? Hold on. Hold on. What are you talking about? Geometry Dash main menu music. Hold on, fucking goddamn it. Hold on. This is important. It was made before it was released. Yeah, of course I couldn't have. Like, you mean this? You mean this? You think it sounds similar to this? Wait, no, hold on. You're kind of right. What the fuck? Wait, no, hold on. What the fuck? Huh? Oh, wait, listen. Okay, here's the thing. I mentioned how I made this the melodies with the riff machine. The riff machine takes from like already established what is it? Chord progressions, right? And so maybe this song, the main melody, I accidentally stumbled onto a riff that follows that same chord progression as this one. Because this is bum 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 bum, and then this is a bum 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 bum. Maybe I can see what you mean. That's interesting. I assure you it was an accident, though. I assure you it was accidental. But it's interesting to think about. Wow. Would you look at that? Let's keep listening to it, because it's only this little bit right here, which is pretty well made. Well, not pretty well made. It's not really, but it sounds okay. Guys, I have a theory. This still sounds kind of cool. Up until like 30 seconds in, it sounds pretty cool. After that, it just goes fucking crazy. The riff just stops making sense. The bass also stops making sense, because again, I grabbed the main melody. I looked at the notes that composed the main melody. I saw the first note, the first literal note of the melody, and I was like, I'm going to put a bass note there. So for every bar, I'm going to put a bass note of the beginning of the bar. And for this section right here, it makes sense. The bass line goes alongside the melody, and it sounds good, but when the melody starts going crazy, the bass just stops making sense. It just stops making sense. Oh my god. It's like boom, bum, bum, boom, bum, bum. That's what the bass does. And this is probably the outro. And then after this, it loops. Oh my god. Oh lord. Want to screen record the part where I said that? Well, you could clip the stream. I know YouTube has the function. I don't know how it works though, but you could try. It might be too late at this point though, and you can't go back on the stream. Well, apparently, what did I have to say about this? From now on, I'll be making music for Crash Gag's Flash animations. Be sure to check out those. They're pretty good. Pretty good for a 12-year-old, I guess. No, he wasn't 12. He was probably like 15 at the time. If I recall correctly, he actually told me that he was autistic as well. I think I might be wrong on that. So I don't know. He might have been a little neurodivergent. That means nothing. Of course it doesn't, but I guess it's notorious enough that I remember that little factoid about this Crash Gag kid. As the title says, this is the theme for one of his characters, Cool Bud. He told me to do it a bit metal. I don't like metal. It was kind of hard for me to do it, but here it is. I don't know if it's good, so feel free to leave your opinions about it. Be sure to check out my other submissions. Wow. I love it. He loved it. Crash Gag loved it. And Cool Bud, I hope Cool Bud does too, and that his review is a bit less newbie than last time. Definitely a competitor for Audio Star's best work yet. I don't know why I thought the name Audio Star was cool. I legit don't know. Oh boy. And then apparently I needed to make a track for a home setting. Now, this is the bit where I'm going to introduce a little bit of lore. One of the songs that he did end up using in his Roblox series was this one. I was supposed to I was tasked with making a song that would play in the inside of a house, like a song that would play in like the inside of a Link to the Past house. I guess that was my inspiration, sort of. This song isn't great, but I don't hate it. And the song, the fucking the animation that he ended up using it in was a very grim animation about one of the members of the of the Crash Gag friend group, I guess, leaving. Because he had a series with a bunch of main characters, quote unquote, and at some point he must have had a falling out with one of his friends, and his friends played the other characters in the animations, right? And so he made an animation that was very grim about him leaving. Like, think, I don't know, a YouTuber leaves a member of a YouTube group leaves that group and they make a video about it. Something like that, but on Newgrounds. And clearly it wasn't good. I was never told why they had a fight or whatever. He just told me he left the thing. He left the group. He won't be showing up anymore. Fuck him. Now, he didn't tell me fuck him, but I could tell that was the vibe that he was going for with it. And so, yeah, this is the song that is used in the animation that was where he revealed it. Did I click it? Apparently, this came with a delay. I got sick, but I'm back. This is August, by the way, at this point. This time, Crash Guy asked me to do a background song for a house. He told me to make it like a bit like Zelda. There you go. I only played A Link to the Past. So I don't know much about Zelda. Yeah, at this point, I had only played Link to the Past, and I hadn't even beaten it. I was a fake gamer. I heard a lot of Zelda songs. This is the best that I could come up with. Not to mention, I didn't have any ideas. No one ever left a review for this. Good, because it's not my best work. At this point, I actually started composing bass lines themselves. But it still follows the same pattern. I realized that a lot of these songs follow this pattern of melody but one step down, melody but another step down, and then the same melody but one step up again. That's the pattern. I know I'm pretty sure there's a name for that. It's a specific chord progression. But I don't know the names of them. I actually programmed the drums myself for this as well. Something I didn't realize is that the notes I picked somehow make this sound very grim. It doesn't sound like a very welcoming tune for a house. It sure as hell does not. But that main melody is kind of cute. The bass doesn't make a lot of sense, but it is better than the previous one where I would just, like, you know, trace the main melody with it. Oh, I guess this is the outro, huh? Now I realized, I have a counter melody in this thing. I figured out how to make counter melodies. Because the main melody is doing the ba-da-ba-bum, ba-da-ba, and then the counter melody was like a little bit of an ARP in the background. Something like that. I figured out melodies and counter melodies at this point. Holy shit. But yeah, this gloomy ass Home Sweet Home song was used for a dramatic moment in the Roblox series, I guess. And then comes Drawing with a Mouse, which is the main theme for the Roblox series, I guess. Typo. The J key is right next to the H key, so it's a typo. Now, Drawing with a Mouse is interesting because I remember being extremely proud of it, and CrashGek really liked it. And the name was something he suggested. He told me, make a song called Drawing with a Mouse, and I was like, what? I guess he told me some inspirations for it. But I don't remember anymore. HTTV, I guess. Okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick before we continue with listening to what we listened to. Because again, we're halfway through this. There's 12 tracks that I made. We listened to 6 of them so far. So to mark the halfway point of my career on Newgrounds, I'm taking a break before we go into the more advanced stuff I made, which isn't a lot. Again, I thought I made a lot more music than I actually did. But you know what? That's good. It makes the stream shorter for myself. Less pain, I guess. Okay, I'll be right back. Just give me 1 second. I'll leave you with one of the songs that I made recently so that you don't have to suffer through this, whatever the hell this is. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Where were we? Drawing with a Mouse, the main theme for the Roblox series, I guess. I got some water with me as well, so we should be good for the rest of the stream now. Okay, so the idea of Drawing with a Mouse, I guess, was that it was supposed to be the main theme for the series and also for CrashGek himself. And he used to, I guess, draw the animations with a mouse. And he told me that it was uncomfortable to do, I guess. And I would assume it is difficult, right? Because, you know, I know how a mouse works. and I know how drawing is difficult. So I imagine that drawing, which is already difficult, with a mouse is just insanely difficult. Regardless, this is drawing with a mouse. Let's see what I said here. Wow, this was my hardest song to date. I really need more ideas. I kept hammering home the fact that I didn't have any ideas, which in some capacity it is correct because again, I wasn't super talented musically, I guess, at the time then. So I had a really hard time coming up with melodies. Because again, I didn't know about scales, I didn't know about keys or anything like that. I didn't know about chords. Nowadays, it's easy for me to like, okay, I want to do something in the key of C major. I know what C major is. I want to know something. I want to write something that is like kind of gloomy. Okay, minor chords, minor scales, C sharp minor scale. I know what notes those are, and then I can like play around because I know my way around the notes. I can play around and come up with a silly melody right off the bat. So I can come up with ideas. The problem that I have nowadays is that it's hard for me to develop something. But back then I couldn't even think of what to make because it was hard for me to find something to start. So if I started something, it was because of a fluke, I guess. GD melody, similarly, that's why. Well, the GD melody was probably because of the riff machine. And the riff machine, again, grabs stuff that was already made with a specific chord progression in mind. And those things are very standard throughout the industry. So you're going to find stuff that sounds similar just, by coincidence. So yeah. Apparently, Crash Kick really liked this song. All aboard the awesome train. Love it. Absolutely 100% freaking flippin' fucking love it. But he censored himself. I was so lucky to randomly come across such a town. Aw, thank you. Thank you, Crash Kick. I would really love to know what Crash Kick's, where he is nowadays in life. There's no shot he's ever gonna see this, but a man can dream. And apparently this was another one of the members of the Roblox thing. And apparently this music is as good as what? We may never know. By the way, at below, I don't I don't think plus 18. Oh boy. Fuck off. Okay. Nope, never mind. He didn't tag below the user below, I guess. I guess Newground's tagging didn't work like this before, and so he meant to tag Crash Kick, which was below him. Reviewing yourself with wools be a little noobish is what they say in Roblox. Life without paradise. You confuse me, Joke. You confuse me quite a bit. Okay, regardless, this was probably my best song. Or rather, I used to think that this was my best song. Nowadays, I don't know if it is. I don't remember exactly. This one has been a long time since I heard it. So let's see what it was. I don't even remember the main melody. Ah, no, this was cool, actually. At this point, I broke off from the pattern of melody, step down melody, and I actually started writing specific melodies, right? The da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. That's something else. I figured that out. Oh, hell. What the Joke, again, you confuse me. I'm going to go back to listening to Drawing with a Mouse, which apparently was my favorite song back in the day. Joke, I don't want to have to, time you out for spam, so I advise you to stop doing those things. The bass is actually kind of pumping too. This is actually kind of cool. The strings, well, synth strings in the back. Oh shit, it's just me chatting? Well, yeah, but you're not saying things. One thing is sending messages that make sense. Another thing is to just, send on chat. That's not a chat. At a certain point, that just becomes spam. Well, here's the thing. CrashGeek even, I remember this. CrashGeek even pointed it out at some point to me. It pointed it out to me. I had this tendency of extending the music I made by just repeating bars. I used to repeat a lot of bars without a lot of variation because I didn't know what to do with variation. It took me ages to figure out that songs needed to have variation, instruments needed to come and go, melodies needed to change, songs need structure, and it took me ages to figure that out. My idea of structure at the time was, okay, an intro that has like a bar, a first section that has like a bar repeated like 4 times, and then another section that has another bar and you repeat that 4 times, and then you go to back to the first section and then you repeat that same one 4 times. 0 variations. So you know that everything here, everything from here to here is exactly the same. The one difference between here and here is the string in the back, but everything else is the same sync. It's a synth, not a string. Sorry. But yeah, no. It was my favorite because honestly, that's a cool melody. It's a cool melody, but like, it's tiny, it's short. It cannot carry a whole song, and I didn't figure that out until years later. And then there's like a transition, which I don't know. And then this is my favorite part, actually. I remembered it now. This is actually my favorite part. I actually did compose this myself. So right there, that whole section, that was one section that I repeated it multiple times. Also, the drums, I did the same trick I did in the previous track, where I just grabbed a bunch of FBC drum loops and stitched them together. That's what I did. But this melody right here, I really liked it. I really like that. I don't have a YouTube tab open. Hold on, give me 1 second. Because I specifically remember where I got this melody from. You know the game Street Fighter 2? Well, Street Fighter 2, I used to play that as a kid. There is a character select. And it has a specific song, which I'm pretty sure I ripped it from there. This is the Street Fighter 2 music. And there's some resemblance with the guitar here. That was my inspiration. I almost ripped off Street Fighter, but I didn't. It's somewhat similar. I was inspired by it, but I liked it and it fit. It fit as a second section for it. Problem is that it's repeated so many times. No variation. Nothing gets added. That was my biggest sin when I was a kid. I just didn't know how to make music. There's a banger? I appreciate it. I do think there's like some good stuff in here. You could tell, it's incredible to me how you could tell that I actually got better with time when making music. Same transition, and now we go back to the intro, but the synth is different now. So the biggest problem with this track, I guess, would be the repetition and the mixing and all that stuff, but whatever. I had no clue about it, that kind of stuff. I barely knew how to compose, so hey. And I think there was an outro as well, which was different. Also, how the fuck did I do the... How did I do the bam 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 bam? How did I do that? Did I figure out how to make automation at that point? No shot. But how the fuck did that happen? Anyway, that was drawing with a mouse. People loved it, clearly. 50 people downloaded. Or it was downloaded 50 times. I don't know. It might have, but I don't think I knew what reverb was at the time, joke. I'm pretty sure I didn't know what reverb was at the time. And for sure it's not active throughout the whole song. Otherwise, you would be hearing a lot of feedback. I might have just literally put up like 4 notes. Or 5 notes. I think I think the way I did this is I just had like a pattern that had 5 notes of decrease in volume. I think that's how I might have done it. Because no shot I learned what reverb was and how to use it, or how to automate something. At that point, I still had no clue about that. Okay, but this was drawing with a mouse. This was my favorite song I made at the time. And honestly, I can see why. It still has a lot of problems. Again, mixing. That was inexistent at that point. And also repetition. There's 2 sections of this track, and the section is 4 bars that get repeated so many times. Like, I like the melodies, I guess. But oh boy, make a sequel? I would make this song so differently nowadays. Another thing I remember being really proud is the fact that I made it with guitars. The guitars aren't great. They're citrus guitars, so they're completely synthesized guitars. Squeegee, you're back. Good, you skipped. You didn't get to hear the cringier part of this stream. So now you get to hear the cooler things that I made. Not really cooler, but you know. you get to hear the better part of my discography, I guess. Of Audio Star's discography. That was what I was known as. Don't worry, you didn't miss much. Oh my god. Okay. But yeah, this was drawing with a mouse. I was really proud of it, but again, it just repetition. So much repetition, man. So much repetition, and we didn't even get to the worst offender of this trend of me. But yeah, no, this happens a lot. Once you heard this, you heard the whole song. Because at most, there's gonna be a synth part here. There's a transition in between this part and another section, which is a little bit short, and then this bit, which goes for a bit. And then there's another transition. And you go back to the beginning, but with a different synth. That's the whole thing. That was my modus operandi as a kid. But all things considered, this is probably my best track so far. I did the best that I could. You sure did, Lance. You sure did, baby Lance. After this, I came back with Pizza Techno. Oh my god. Okay. Squeegee, you weren't here for this, but there was this track I made with a riff machine in FL Studio, and the riff machine just essentially grabs pre-made MIDI loops of like notes already made, and you could adjust parameters with it. So basically you could create melodies using an algorithm or something like that. That's how the riff machine works. It's like Pizza Tower fan game. I don't exactly know what the name was. I think this Dragon Slayer person, which was part of this group of this Crash Gag kid, he told me he wanted it to be called that, and so I called it that. Pizza Techno. Oh god, you missed so much. You did miss some lore. You did miss some lore. I'll get you up to speed. My friend at this Newgrounds era of me was this kid called Crash Gag who used to do Roblox fan animations, and at some point he found my stuff and he asked me to make a bunch of music for him, and so there you go. Piss Techno? Oh no, god no, not Piss Techno, Pizza Techno. Okay, so the Pizza Techno is essentially the successor to Technologic Spark. I guess. Technologic Spark, as we've heard before, sounded like shit because it was completely made with the riff machine. And so eventually it ends up sounding like this. Or like this. With a bunch of melodies stacked on top of each other that don't complement them. They don't complement each other at all. And it just... I don't want to listen to that anymore. I don't want to listen to that anymore. Pizza Techno was my attempt at making the same thing, but more organized. I think I still failed anyways. My goal on this one was to make it a little bit like Technology Spark. I even misspelled my own track name. And this is what I got. Look at this fucking waveform. This shit is so loud. Ah! Oh no. Oh god, that's a... Oh no. Oh, ow. Ooh. Yikes. Youch indeed. What the fuck instrument did you pick, Lance? This shit is fire on mute is what it is. This is also clipping. It's clipping like fucking crazy. Oh my god, my poor speakers at the time. See, at this point, that synth you hear in the back was actually made by me. I tried to complement the main melody generated by the riff machine. Bro, I actually... Hold on. Oh my god, I do this thing. Never let 2012 players touch bass boost again. Do you still have that synth? Maybe. I'm pretty sure this was all made with instruments from Citrus, and Citrus is the default synth that comes with FL Studio, so I might still have it, I guess. It's just that Citrus has been updated, so Lord knows if the presets have remained the same. Oh my god. But no, I stopped it here because I do this little trick here. Look at this. I mute everything before we go into the main beat. That is a trick that I still do to this day. Legit, I do that. I legit do that. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a song of mine that does that. Hold on, I'm pretty sure. I don't want you to see my files. That's why I switched screens. Don't worry about it. Originality. Listen, it's hard to reinvent the wheel, so why bother? Let's see. Did I do it on this one? On my chip album? I did do it. I did do it here. Listen to this shit. Mute. Beat. It's a neat trick, isn't it? Or how about let me see. Yeah, that one's better. That one is better because I learned how to properly do it. I learned how to properly do the thing. How about this one? Xylings, you're back. Hello. Welcome to the stream. We're listening to my old stuff, but this isn't my oldest stuff. This is actually something that's on my YouTube channel, but I'm trying to find something that fits the same joke. There's no need to highlight how many people are in the stream. But see, I do the same trick. I employ the mute for a second before going to the beat and stuff. It's interesting that I realized how to do that so early on. You forgot the first ever stuff you made? That's good. You want to know how the first ever stuff I made sounded like? It's on Newgrounds. I used to be Audio Star, and it sounded like this. I am so sorry. Listen, I know you're a music person, Silings. You know way much more about music than I do. So this is gonna hurt you probably more than it hurts me. Oh my god. But here's the mute section. And then it mutes and I go back to the beat. We're vibing now. I know there's nothing. I'm joking. Don't worry about it. That doesn't. This right here. This doesn't. This is a progression that doesn't make any sense. I don't know why I thought that this sounded well. That it sounded good. That's so dissonant that the first ever actual tracks are still on YouTube. Oh, look at that. Well, they must be way better than the ones that I made. Because I wouldn't want to put these on YouTube. I mean, I did. I just moved past this. Oh my god. It gets worse. I distinctly remember how this one sounded like, actually. And hell, I even remember that when I delivered this piece, I knew that it didn't sound so good. But I had to get it done because this other guy had asked me to do it. And because he had requested for it, I didn't want to let him down. Oh god. Oh. Oh no. What the fuck is this? What even is that melody? Bum ba 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 da ba 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 ba. Oh, this is why you learn scales, kids. This is why music theory is important. Actual piss. Yeah, no, you know what? I agree. I think piss techno is a better name for this track. Oh no. Again, keep in mind, I was 14. I feel like I need to remind people that I was 14 when I was making this. So remember, your brain doesn't even stop developing up until you're like 25. So imagine what the fuck that means for your ears. Not bad though. Oh, Squeegee, you're being too nice. This is terrible. Oh, look at that. I actually put the melody from the beginning on another instrument and layered it. It doesn't do much. Well, you try. Oh, yeah, I tried. Lord knows I tried. Oh my god, this hurts me. This might be the worst thing we have heard on this stream so far. You know what the problem is? The riff machine just doesn't... I mean, you could probably make something with the riff machine that works. It's just that what I used to do with the riff machine is I would just randomize things and hope I land, and I would hope that I landed on something that sounds nice. And if I found something that sounded nice, I would put it on the song. And then I would like stack the melodies made with the riff machine on top of one another without paying attention to the parameters and stuff like that, right? Which means that I was just randomizing music, essentially. But if you know what you're doing with the riff machine, you could put the parameters so that everything that you generate at least falls within the same scale. And so nothing sounds, you know, dissonant. I'm pretty sure you could make things work with the riff machine, but Lord, Jesus Christ, I did not know how to do it. And we ended with stuff like this. Oh my god, thank god it's over. Honestly, use it again and see where it goes. Ugh. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's still in FL Studio, the riff machine. I don't see any reason as for why they would take it out. You didn't try. You did. Yeah, I tried. This one, for sure, I know I tried. Because I remember agonizing over how the fuck to make this song. I remember having a real hard time with this song. Clearly, it wasn't enough. And I delivered it just like that. And I guess it lives forever as this song, I guess. Hot Chase. Okay, Hot Chase is... this track that I actually consider okay-ish start from is Nova Orion, which is still 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was making way better stuff. I will say that. Again, these are things that were made over 10 years ago. If you feel old, Silence, what does that make me? I'm a fucking dinosaur. This shit came out on the internet on 2011. That's crazy, isn't it? That's 13 years ago. 13. I was 14 at the time. Do you know about VR? Yes, I own a VR headset. What does that have to do with anything? You wasn't even having the... Oh, you didn't have access to the internet until 2013, 15. Damn, no, I've been on the internet since 2003, pretty much. I feel like a boomer, even though I saw a bunch of other stuff in the 2010s. Listen, I feel like a characteristic of our generation is that we feel way older than we actually are. I'm just 26, but I feel like I lived for fucking 40 years. I don't know why it is. I don't exactly know why it is. Like, whenever I look at what the kids, the newer generation is doing, I feel like I'm way too old for the stuff that they do. Like, skibbity toilet and that kind of shit. I'm way too old for that shit. And I'm just 26. I'm just 26. I'm not that old. Not even barely a quarter of a century old. Cute little me going, I'll never be able to do top-notch music and expect it to turn out like this nowadays. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what I thought about the music that I made back in the day. I know I liked it to some extent. Otherwise, I wouldn't even have published it. And so I did. So I must have been somewhat proud of it. Not old enough to feel that way, but you feel the same way? Yeah. Quarter and a cent. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I feel like that's a thing for us. Kept listening to it once I had some skill in it. Yeah. I mean, we all got to start somewhere. The truth of it, that if I want anyone to take away something from this stream, is that we all start somewhere. I, for one, started with Terror Mansion, sounding like this. And this was made in 2008. But hey, nowadays, I think I can make some cool stuff. I've clearly gotten better. But we all got to start somewhere. Use my music to listen to it on my Samsung Galaxy S4. Wow, I had a J7. That was the one. No, actually my first ever smartphone was a Samsung Galaxy Pocket. It was tiny. It was so goddamn tiny. It was so funny. Whenever I wanted to type, I had to turn it horizontally because of how tiny it was. Couldn't fit it in my two hands vertically to type. It was so awkward. Okay. Where were we? Hot Chase. Apparently, this actually wasn't requested by anybody. I just made it by myself because I wanted to make it. Apparently, the inspiration for this was Squeegee. You oh, hi, Squeegee. I keep forgetting that this is Newgrounds and people could just, leave messages in here. There you are. Well, there you are. This is one of the worst offenders. This is a 4-minute song. 4.5 minute song. I don't think we're going to listen to the whole thing. Because you know how I said that repetition was my biggest sin back in the day? Well, this song is all about repetition. Apparently, I had been working on this song for a while and I couldn't finish it because I was very busy with requests. So now that I finished those, I could finish this song. Hey. Apparently, it came to my mind a person being chased by a giant robot. I don't know why. And then I decided to make this song. Very insightful. Young Lance, once again. Apparently, a chase song is this. This is just an ARP. I actually didn't place any of these notes. Fun fact, I remember this. The ARP instrument, for some reason, at the beginning of each of these bars, it gets louder. I never could figure out exactly why it happened, because I know I didn't raise the volume of the notes themselves. It just got louder on its own when I introduced the bass and whatnot. I always found it weird, but I kept it that way because I don't know how to fix it. But I think you can hear that it actually gets louder. I can hear it in my headphones. Hopefully y'all can hear it as well. What is this progression? Oh shit. Oh shit. You can hear it? Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I never figured out why it happened. And we're gonna stay here. We're gonna stay with this loop right here for at least 4 more bars. Fun fact, I actually started writing my own drums at this point. I stopped using the FPC loops. It keeps going. I think after this one, I introduce a new instrument. Yeah. I introduced a synth. I introduced a synth in the background, and that's it. This keeps going for a while. It keeps going for a while until we hit this part, which I guess is a bridge. The main melody, that kept going, I guess. But now it's like a calm down thing. It's just a bumping beat. I always try to make my own stuff from the get-go when I had FL. Rarely use pre-existing things. Oh, look at that. But I couldn't do that because I didn't understand any of the like knobs and whatnot. So most of the stuff I made relied on presets. I only really learned about like how to. I only really learned about sound design when I was way older and more experienced. And I still don't quite fully grasp it, but at the very least I know what the basic, like, you know, features of sound design are. Like, I know answer, I know attack, decay, release, sustain, all that kind of stuff. I know chorus, I know reverb, I know those effects. I know how to concoct sounds, I guess. I'm still not great at it, and so I prefer using samples but tweaking them. But when I tweak samples, I do know what I'm doing. Generally, depending on the plugin that I use. So I wanted to essentially just making something I don't have an instrument for already. Yeah. Well, I used to rely exclusively on samples back in the day. I used to use Citrus a lot, actually. I know, Silence, I know you use Citrus a lot, but the way that I used to use Citrus was just, I used to use the samples there. Well, not samples. I used to use the presets there. Because I remember finding Citrus, the plugin, and I remember looking through the library of presets and thinking, this is huge. I have every single possible sound that I could ever use. And so I used to use a lot of default Citrus presets. Yeah. That is you are indeed a Citrus junkie, but you do know how to use it. I never knew how to use it. I just used to use the presets. In fact, I think a lot of these sounds are actually Citrus preset sounds. I don't know if Citrus still has these presets, but I know I used them. This song changes nothing from start to end. I only add things to it, and it doesn't fit. Hello, Burning. We're listening to the cringy stuff I made when I was a kid. Welcome on in. We relied on that plugin when I had a weak desktop PC because it was lightweight and had a lot of tonality. Ah, look at that. Well, that's another thing. That is another thing. I used to make all of these tracks on a very crappy PC as well. So, yeah. I remember distinctively downloading an older version of FL because I didn't know if my computer could handle the newer versions. So I got FL10 and I got stuck in FL10 for a long time. My CPU-C score on that old PC was 550. That I don't exactly remember how CPU-C scores work. But if your current PC is 5130, then yeah, that's low. Good song? You think so? I think this song sucks. It does have a bit of a battle vibe, I guess. But oh boy. See, my idea of making things sound epic was, you know, adding a lot of stuff. So at this point, we have the main melody, the harp in the back, the bass, synth, and then like another synth on top. I had like five things running on top of each other without any changes or whatever. And I thought that was the way to do song structure. I ain't a musician, so I don't know what's happening. Don't worry, this sounds actually not so bad. The bass line needs fixing? Probably, yeah. I would say that a lot of things need fixing. Actually, this is the same one bar loop for why is there a timpani at the end? My technobabble is confusing the chat. It's not confusing me. Don't worry. I understand you, Xilinx. It's this musician talk right here. Don't worry. Plus some other melodies in it too. Yeah, that's the thing. In music, a lot of the times, it took me ages to realize this as well. Less is more. On music, less tends to be more sometimes. And this is not just for any specific kind of genre. It works for most genres. There's no need to overflow your song with a lot of things all at once. A lot of the times, less is more. And I didn't figure that out until I was way older. And so what that meant was that I would just make a small pattern and be like, okay, this is cool. I need to add more. And then I would make another pattern. I was like, this is cool. I need to add more. And I need to add more. And I need to add more. And that leads to sections like this when there's like 7 different patterns on top of one another. And at least at this point, I figured out what notes go together well. So generally speaking, it doesn't sound bad because the notes themselves aren't bad. But there's too many ideas, one on top of another, and that doesn't sound good. That does not sound good. So yeah. And yeah, the drum at the end, that's the funniest part. I don't know why I ended it with a timpani like that. It's not even a timpani, that's just a low tom drum. That's just a tom-tom. Okay. I guess that's a way to end the song. Bassline doesn't sound right. I keep in mind I learned harmony on a Yamaha MIDI keyboard. Well, you had a MIDI keyboard. That's an upgrade. I made all of this with an actual computer keyboard. I only ever got my first MIDI controller. MIDI controller when I was 22, a few years ago. So at this point, I knew zero music theory. I think most of the stuff that I wrote at this point in my life was in C major, aka using all the white keys, because the white keys, you can do a lot of shit with the white keys and it'll sound okay, because C major. I had that keyboard before you used the PC for music, at least from 2013 onwards, until corrupted from corrosion. Oh shit, that sucks. But yeah, I mean, old tech. But hey, actually having a keyboard would have helped quite a bit. You're falling asleep before you can come back to your stream. Oh, don't worry about it. You've been missing a lot of cringe. You've been missing a lot of cringe music. Here, I'll give you a taste of the worst we've done. No, hold on. The worst we've done was Pizza Techno. Also, hi, Daniel. Yes, welcome back. You missed stuff like this. Or this. Oh god, I hate it. Yeah, they got a lot of views somehow. I don't know why, but they got 800 listens. You watch the stream later? Yeah, thank you. Don't worry about it though. There's always sensor. Yeah. I mean, it is a Friday. If you've been working, go to sleep. No need to stay awake. As you said, the VOD will always be there. What is it? What did I want to bring up again? Oh yeah, the one that has the most views is this one, the most plays. No, hold on. It's yeah, stage 1, Green Grassland, because years later, this was in 2011. This was posted June 2011, but it was used in a game, in a Flash game called Pound the Puzz, because this is Newgrounds, of course. That had 200k plays. So, it got somewhat popular. I still have no fucking clue how this orange pylon person found this song, but he found it, I guess. Oh well, that was Hot Chase. Okay, that was Hot Chase. And then we go to The Horror Is Coming, which apparently, I guess, was for Halloween 2011, because Newgrounds would make like contests about in like specific in specific holidays and whatnot, I guess, or I don't know. And I guess this was my entry in that contest. I don't even know if it was a contest. The zombies are coming. Did you leave comments in every single fucking one of my songs, Squeegee? Oh no, you didn't leave a comment here. Yeah, man. Don't need to force you. No need to force you to stay here. If you're feeling sleepy and you need sleep, then go to sleep. Don't let me stop you. I appreciate you hanging out on stream, even if it was just a little bit while you were sleepy. Let's see if The Horror is truly coming. Apparently, I took a break from requests and made a song for Halloween. I actually somewhat remember liking this song. Again, 4 minutes and 12 seconds. You can see the problem I had with repetition just by looking at the waveforms. You could tell that this is one part of the song. I add one more thing here. This is where the beat starts. This is one whole section. And then this is another section that probably repeats all the way till here by adding a few things and taking some things away, I guess. This is another section right here. This is a little bridge that removes a lot of things. And then it goes back to the beginning with like other instruments. And then there's like an outro that's somewhat different. This is the structure of all of my songs when I was a kid. This sounds better though. At this point, I didn't use only Citrus. I think the main VST that I used at this point was called Ogun. But I figured out more spooky notes, and I actually did know which keys I was playing. Ogun, yeah. I used to toy around a lot with the Autogun, which is like the simplified version of Ogun. That has like a gajillion presets. The underlying yeah, it's exactly. I also like the drums. I have no idea. I have no idea how I did the... It must have been the specific hi-hat sample that I picked that does the... So I like this, but again, and this is what I mean, less is more, right? There's not a lot of things happening in this part of the track, and aside from some of the mixing, which isn't a thing because I didn't used to make mixes, I didn't used to make mix things, so, you know, clipping happened. Aside of that, this sounds nice, and then later it falls apart because I add things to it where it doesn't need more things. It keeps going like this. Is it? Yeah, it keeps going. It goes from 40 seconds till 140. There's a whole minute of no changing. This is the first section change. This this section right here should have been like here. It should have been 2 bars of this main melody and then 2 bars of the second section. I have no idea why I decided to extend so many fucking bars for so long without any change. No one wants to listen to that shit. Songs need to be way shorter than this. But I was toying around with variation. I didn't add a lot of things. I just changed parts of the song that were already there. I was learning, I guess. And this keeps going for a while. This also keeps going for another whole minute. And then a little bridge, which is just it kind of similar to the beginning part. It's just the second section with the drums removed. And now I think we're about to hear the worst possible synth that I could have picked for the final section. It sounds like a... Why does it sound like that? Why did I pick that to add as the final bit? And then again, it's this bit. It's this first section, but with a new instrument added on top. And I'm pretty sure this is this second section, but with that other instrument on top of it. That's it. And I guess the outro is the same, but removing the drums. I became very, very predictable, I guess. Well, that's apparently this is supposed to loop as well, but because I left the remainder of the song when I exported it, it doesn't loop properly. All things considered, this isn't terrible though. Again, twice as long as it needed to be, but not that terrible. Okay, now we got LTPM Level Complete, which is apparently Land of Pizza Man's Level Complete song. Okay. There's lore to this one. There's a lot of lore to this one. The description, I think, says something about it. You say that's twice as long as it needed to be. Yeah, it is. I think it is. I do think it is. 10 minutes long. Oh my god. But listen, a 10-minute song is not bad if there's enough variation. Prog rock is prog rock because the songs can be 30 minutes long. And they're awesome because they're divided into sections. The problem with the songs that I made was that they were 4 minutes long and there was 0 variation. Why are you here as well, Xylings? Why is everyone just leaving comments now? Mario RPG dancing gif here. Oh my god. Okay. The thing about this one, though, I actually kind of like this because it's short and I came up with the melody that was really fun. I don't know how I did it, but I came up with the melody that was really fun. And I think the drums of this one were also FBC drum loops. But it fit pretty well. We vibing now. We vibing. I actually really like this. That's the whole song. That's the song. That's a whole song. And it says level complete because, okay, at some point, this Crash Gag friend of mine, it sounds like Pizza Tower before it doesn't sound like Pizza Tower. I actually haven't heard much of the soundtrack for Pizza Tower. If so, that would be funny. That would be funny as heck. We discovered that one of the previous songs that I made has a chord progression that is somewhat similar to the Geometry Dash main menu theme. So it's entirely possible that this sounds like Pizza Tower music. Okay, let me explain this whole Land of Pizza Man thing. Apparently, I was working on the music for thy indie game, quote unquote, called Land the Pizza Man with Crash Kick. Crash Kick, if you didn't know, was my friend from back in these Newgrounds days. And apparently he came across this forum called the Game Dan Forums. I have no idea what this Game Dan thingy is. I don't want to Google it. Actually, wait. I think I did Google it at some point. But yeah, no, it's something that doesn't exist anymore. It's something that doesn't exist anymore. If you Google Game Dan, you get this, which this sounds like a proper. Why do they have a name called Suicide Cliff? What the fuck? That's not exactly what I expected to find. No, not quite what I expected to find, honestly. Well, if I can't tell you, I can't show you what Game Den used to be, but it used to be a forum. Let me see if I can find images of it. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Imagine this. Imagine this. Okay, imagine this. Beep this image of pixel art that's in like a sepia tone. Well, apparently this Game Dan group used to be a group that would make a lot of. Apparently, the goal of the group was to make games using this same color palette. And somehow Crashka got in touch with some of the peeps there, and they were apparently trying to make a game in this color palette. Can even give you the song to you in DMs because I removed the song in Clown during the track purge I had to do to make place. Oh shit. Some of the old stuff that you had that you're not so proud of anymore, you had to delete. Well, that's the thing. So apparently, Game Den was a team that makes games with the same palette, and that palette was like a sepia pixel art kind of thing. And we were supposed to make a game with that. It didn't go anywhere. I was supposed to. It just didn't get enough views. Yeah. Well, SoundCloud kind of sucks. I abandoned SoundCloud because of that. It was mostly bots, and things wouldn't get any views. And I didn't like the platform anyways. I didn't frequent it. I hated it, so I just left. Crashkick had asked me to make a level 1 song, I guess, and I couldn't figure out what to do. But out of nowhere, I guess I figured out. I came up with this melody, this again, I figured out that melody just randomly by playing random notes. I was like, wait, this sounds kind of nice. And I made a whole track around it. And I thought, wait, this kind of fits like for a level complete kind of thing. So I sent it to Crashkick, and Crashkick was like, that's cool. Let's use it. And I think at some point, the most that Crashkick managed to make of this Land of Pizza Man game was a couple screenshots. And listen, the kid had a little bit of talent. No, not a little bit. I'm being mean. The kid had talent for drawing. He used to make animations that looked like, early Newgrounds animations. But I remember him making some mock-ups of like screens for this Land of Pizza Man game and thinking, wow, that looks kind of good actually. So yeah, he was early Newgrounds artist. I would love to know what his life is nowadays, honestly, but we may never know. So yeah, this is the only thing that exists of this Land of Pizza Man game that never existed and never came to be. But at some point was, I guess, a possibility. Within a group of people, a Game Dan forum, which was filled with a bunch of people that would make, I guess, games with that sepia palette. I have no idea where that left, where that went. And the fact that if you Google Game Den nowadays, you get nothing, you get that other thing. Lord knows where that is. It's probably wiped off the internet at this point. Apparently, this is the site. I actually... Hold on. In case I accidentally do something bad. What? Okay, no, there's nothing in gamedanforums.com. What happens if we go to the actual full link that is here? Yeah, no, the forum does not exist. Okay. Well, rip Game Dan. Gone way too soon. But yeah, this is fun. Rip in pieces. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of one of the tracks I have on my own channel. Here, let me go to my channel. And there's one specific song that reminds me of this one of that one track, which is I believe I called it Freak, because it's short and sweet like that. But this one sounds way better. I love this little ditty. The other difference between those two tracks is that the drums here were actually made by me. It wasn't FBC loops. I actually programmed. I actually drew in the piano roll. I made the drums myself. Is what I'm trying to make. Is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it sounds way better. And it feels similar to this. This trumpet sound was one of my favorite things to play around with. And I know it's the trumpet sound from Citrus. I know for sure it's the trumpet sound from Citrus. And so with that, we come to this last piece of music that I ever made for both CrashGek and I ever uploaded to Newgrounds. And I moved on to better things. After 2011, I moved on from making music. I pretty much stopped making music altogether until I started uploading on SoundCloud, which means that the newest stuff I made since this one must have come out a few years later. I'd have to check on my actual SoundCloud page. Let's see. Let's see if I can find my SoundCloud page. Lance White. I have to Google myself. I don't even have my credentials. That's not me. I just began putting stuff on Newgrounds after being on YouTube. I feel like this is the wrong way. I mean, it's still valid, I feel like. It's a platform nonetheless. All platforms are valid. Where the heck am I? There's a lot of Lance White people here, but none of them are me. Come on. How do I find my how can I find? Can I do I still have Hold on. Hold on. Do I still have my credentials? Do I? Can I check my SoundCloud account? Oh my god, I can. Oh yeah, look at that. My SoundCloud still exists here. Look at that. I'm still in here. But I'm here as a white star. That was another, I guess, name I went by. The last thing I uploaded here was Blight, I guess, which was 4 years ago. And this is within the SoundCloud collection. It's here. It's this one. Yeah. It was my old brand. This was my old brand. But let's see. I want to know how long. What? Is this literally? I know for a fact this isn't the first song I ever uploaded. Did you change your volume? No, not really. I did not. Why is this not as loud? My own name used to be the mathematical definition of the middle of a triangle. A centroid. Is that it? You used to be centroid? You got loud? Whoa, that's weird. Centroid is a completely different thing in programming. If you use k-means clustering uses a centroid to determine the center of a specific cluster of data in clustering. That's a completely different thing. But I didn't know that was the name of the center of a triangle, actually. Okay. Regardless, I think some of my old tracks on SoundCloud got deleted in the same way that Silence's tracks got deleted, actually, now that I think about it. Regardless, talk about being in there. Yeah. I made a post? I have a post? What's my post? What did I post? Shut up. I don't want to make a new Guns account right now. The horror is coming, maybe a little too late. What? Okay, whatever. Whatever, Lance. I don't know what the fuck you were thinking. This is the last thing I ever made, called Cowboy Showdown. Yeehaw! Love that there's a bunch of impact. Oh my god. And see, here's the thing. This is the last thing that Crash Kick has ever told me. On December 29th, 2011. It does once again have this little thing you always do. The song pretty much stays the same throughout the whole thing. There's some melody, some ups and downs. Not just the same loop over and over again. I think you might just get another 4-5er. Scathing words. Not really. This is completely correct. Crash Kick had told me that he wanted to make a cowboy kind of thing. And the only thing that I knew about cowboys at the time was Sunset Riders, as it says here. Cowboyish songs. I remember one of my childhood games, Sunset Riders. Decided to make it a little bit more modern. I don't know if I went too far from the cowboy feeling. I did. I went too far from the cowboy feeling. Do I still have YouTube open? Here. Sunset Riders, for example, is a fantastic game. It's on SNES, but it's originally an arcade game. And the soundtrack is fucking awesome. I guess I tried to make it sound similar to this. I didn't make it correct. I didn't get it. Something like this. You want to know why the song has a lot of impact hits? It's because this song has a lot of impact hits. See? Ba-bam. Ba-bam. But this song is awesome. Sunset Riders is so good. If you've never played it, oh my god, make yourself a favor and do it. It's so good. It's so fun. It's so good. It's so good. And then you go to my version, then you get this. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I guess it sounded close enough to Sunset Riders in my head, so I went ahead with it. And that was the whole crux of the song for the first 2 minutes of it. And then at some point I introduced a guitar. The same guitar that I used for drawing with a mouse. The Citrus guitar. One of the Citrus guitars. Oh. The drums got calmer now. It's a beat. There's a beat now. Instead of just a... And then when we introduce it... When do I introduce the guitar? Do we have like 2 more bars? No. The guitar comes here. It's great. You think so? I don't think so. But honestly, it's not that bad. And then it's the same synth. I used to use the same instruments so much. The same old instruments on every single track I used to make. And then it stays like this for a... Oh, the synth is gone now. And now it's just drums and bass and the impact. The guitar is back. The synth is back. Is it the same synth? It's the same synth. I betcha I added another synth, an extra synth, for the last few bits. No? Wow. Wow, I'm surprised. I didn't add another synth. The song just literally stays the same for 3.5 minutes. A little over 3, almost 4 minutes. Wow. Would you look at that? And so we have come to the end of my music history on the internet. You will not find any other piece of music that I made before the stuff that is on this Newgrounds page, because there isn't any. I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, there's one song that I made before I started posting things on Newgrounds, but that one has been lost to time. And so the my earliest work on the internet, when it comes to music at least, is on this specific on this specific Newgrounds page. However, there are YouTube videos that I made way before this. I've been making YouTube videos since at least 2007 or something like that. I'd have to look into it. But I've been on YouTube for a long time, and maybe some other time we'll do a look back on my old YouTube channels. There's only one of them that exists, actually. No, two of them. There's 2 old channels that are still up, and yeah, they're not great. But yeah, you could say I've been on this game for a long time, and I've been on the YouTube grind, quote unquote, for a long time. But yeah, this was fun. This was kind of, I don't know if humbling is the right word, but it does put into perspective how long I've come since this. Because literally, you listen to this shit, but then at the same time, many years later, I made one of the songs that I'm the most proud of in a long time. This lo-fi track I made. I said at the beginning, this is the latest piece of music I've made, and I'm actually really proud of it. I really like how it turned out. And then you listen to the stuff I made in the past, and it's like, what the fuck? This guy got better. So I guess it's truly a testament of we all got to start somewhere. And if you keep trying and if you keep learning, eventually you'll get it. So yeah, I guess the one key thing to take away from all of this is don't be ashamed of the stuff you've made in the past, because even if it was bad, it taught you something, and eventually you got to the point where you are today, and now you're better than you were back then. So yay, and embrace it. Exactly. Embrace the cringe. We may be cringe, but we are free. But yeah, I'm gonna call it here. This has been a really fun stream, going back over my old stuff, as cringy as it might have been some of the songs that I made back in the day and how bad they sounded. Again, they taught me how to make music and whatnot, and so I appreciate it. I appreciate it for what it did to me. Embrace the cringe and thrive in the present where one cooks fire. Yes, one must cook cringe before they can cook fire. That is words to live by. Yeah, no one is born knowing everything. And so don't worry too much if you don't, if you don't like the stuff that you're doing now. Just be proud of what you were able to do, even if it wasn't great, and know that you can use what you learned there to become better, even better in the future. And eventually you'll get to, I don't know, maybe even higher than when I am right now, which is awesome, isn't it? But yeah, this has been very fun. I guess I'll be seeing you on Monday. Ooh, I actually have a plan for Monday's stream, because Genshin released a bunch of shit today, and so we're probably gonna be going over all of the stuff that was released about Genshin, about the trailers and whatnot, and the animations that came out today. Probably gonna be going over that on Monday, and then after that we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for hanging out. It's been fun. It was cringe, but in a good way. So yeah, thank you all. I'll be seeing you when I see you, which is Monday, I guess. Probably. We'll see. Most likely. Well, either way, see ya. It's been fun. Bye bye.